Hey, welcome to another StreamYard. It's Bradley J. And well, I always like to say, like, I'm in the studio. And today, I'm going to talk about one of the coolest events going on in Northeast Kansas. That is the Fall Show. It has to do with the Meriden Threshing Association. So I want to bring on first, I want to bring on Kerril. Kerril, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Fall is here, and that means one thing. We get to talk to you guys about your big fall festival coming up. So, how did the Meriden Antique Engine and Threshing Association, how did this whole thing get started? Oh, your screen.
Well, it started back in 1977, and a bunch of old boys got together and decided to thresh some wheat the old-fashioned way, and they decided that they really wanted to kind of preserve the old farming practices and pass those down to future generations. And it's definitely grown from there. Very few of those fellows are left, just a couple now. And we've been doing it for this is our 46th fall festival, and our summer show was our 48th show. So we've been doing it for a while, and we're pretty good at passing that stuff on. And the great thing is that people really are interested in it. And, farmers feed the world. And it's interesting to know how things have evolved over the years, the technology and everything. But it's kind of cool to do it the old fashioned way too, and see how much work it really was back in the old days.
And that's one of the things. Sometimes some of the ways we did it back then are better than some of the new ways that we can do it still. So, what buildings and displays can people expect to see as part of the Cottonwood station that you have?
Well, if you've ever been, or if you've driven by it, a lot of people have driven by and never stopped in. We definitely want you to stop in. We have an old engine that came from the Redding, Kansas elevator way down at the far end. We have a working flour mill. We have the old barn with milking equipment set up. That's where our dances are. We have one of the most complete blacksmith shops in the U.S. We have the old Sims garage. Cecil Sims was a mechanic for many years in Meriden, and we've pretty much recreated his garage. We have a livery / wheelwright building that has a very cool barbed wire collection, among other things. We have a sawmill. The sawmill was used to saw the lumber that built most of the buildings. We have the sorghum shack where Merlin and Jerry are going to be cooking sorghum. We have the general store, that's Carolyn's domain. We have the last two buildings are not, they were moved to the grounds from other locations. So the Benedict Meyer log cabin was moved from North of Valley Falls back in the 80s. And then in 2003, the Bloomfield Church came down and was placed on the grounds. They moved everything, the foundation, the building, and they completely restored it inside and out. And we will actually have a church service there on Sunday morning.
So that's a place my mom would look me in the eyes and say, Bradley J, if you're going, you need to go to that church, is what you need to do. That's what she would tell me. Kerril, we're going to talk to you a little bit later, but I want to bring Carolyn on because Carolyn, part of this as well. And hello, Carolyn, how are you?
I'm good, Bradley. How are you?
I am good. This is one of my favorite things to talk about because there's so much going on. Like, what would you say are some of the highlights of the fall show and swap meet happening September 28th and 29th?
Well, at the fall show, the highlights will be Emily's crew taking and making apple cider. That's very fascinating to watch. So everybody can go down and catch that in action. Sorghum, which is a natural sweetener for human consumption, that will also be on display. As Carol mentioned earlier, Merlin and Jerry will be there, so they will be happy to answer any questions anyone has. And then the apple butter, which will be at the cabin. And that is cooked over an open fire in a big copper kettle. And we're really looking forward to displaying some of the great fall festives that take place. And we're going to have beautiful weather. So what more can we ask for?
Nothing. But I will apple butter. I remember the first time I ever had it. My grandma had it, and I was looking for grape jelly, and she was like, why do you want grape jelly, Bradley?" And I said, "Well, I want." She said, "Here, try this. You'll like this better." And I ate it, and I was like, "Grandma, you were right. I love apple butter. That's so good." So definitely on my list. So I got to move over because I think we have someone new, Emily, who is with. Is this your first time being on the StreamYard?
It is.
Are you excited or nervous?
A little bit of both, but it's good.
Okay, well, then I'll just throw a weird question at you and not the one I'm supposed to. No,
Okay.
Emily, part of the fall show, you make some different foods and drink daily, the old-fashioned way to sell the attendees. What goodies can people expect to find and they can take home as well?
I am in charge of doing the apple cider that we, turn and press right there at the grounds. So like Carolyn said, it'll be demonstrated, and along with the apple butter that she'll be doing up at the cabin, along with the sorghum. Those are all things that can be purchased and taken home.
That's so cool. I love anything sweet. So and the more you talk about this, the more I'm just like, I haven't had lunch yet. So I think I'm just going to go get something really sweet. Emily, so you were talking about how you oversee the apple cider. How many apples do you typically go through during a show? What sizes will you offer at the cost? And I believe this is a generational family project. You need to tell us about that as well.
Okay. So I go usually about through 80 bushels of apples, give or take the year. We'll have 20-ounce bottles to sell at $4 a bottle. Half gallons are going to be $7, and gallons will be $12. While supplies last, anyways.
That's a great price, man. You can't really buy anything for like a price like that. So what? Yeah. I got to ask you, what kind of apples though? Is it like red apples, green apples, like?
It's a mixture of both. We have some Jonathan's, Granny Smith, and Golden Delicious are usually the brands that are popular.
They say an apple a day keeps Bradley J away, but I don't believe that. So I'm just saying. So Jolene, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You know what? Like I said, every time when I talk to you, when you ladies here, my smile gets bigger, my joy gets better because I love talking about this event and I love talking to y'all. So Jolene, you're in charge of the chuck wagon, which is very important. And I've heard there's some great smoked meats, homemade pies, and more. So what can people look forward to for breakfast, lunch, or dinner this weekend in the chuck wagon? It's cash only. Let's get that out of the way first. Cash only?
Yes, it is cash only.
Okay. Yeah. So what can people look forward to? I know the pies are a big thing.
Yes, they are. That and the homemade ice cream is a big thing, the soft serve ice cream. For breakfast, we've got like pancakes, biscuits and gravy, burritos, full breakfast. Lunch and dinner, we would have like pork and beef burgers, both, brisket, pulled pork, chicken and noodles, brats. We're going to do a homemade meatloaf as well. And like you said, the homemade pies and ice cream, and then lots of sides and nachos, your pulled pork nachos.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll be some of it. There will be a few other things thrown in there as well.
I just want to come and live there now.
Yeah.
After hearing the menu, here's what I have to ask you though. This isn't a question on the list, but has Emily ever been known to, when the ice cream gets done, to like secretly take a spoon or her finger and get in the ice cream? Has she ever done that? Don't lie.
Never.
Like very good. She's like, never.
Yeah,
but Bradley J, why would you ask such a question? Well, we'll get back to that later because I want to bring Kerril back on. So, Kerril, there is a garden tractor pull. This happens each day. So tell us a little bit about that and what time it happens.
The garden tractor pulls are at 11 a.m. each day. We have the same group of people that has been, the Baldwins used to do the Bucket Brigade. They used to own the Bucket Brigade. They sold it to Mark Stevie, who was one of their followers or helpers. And so it's been a fairly smooth transition to change sled owners. But they're still a great group of people to work with. The garden tractor pull is a lot of fun. It's great because kids get involved, especially down in the lower classes. Most of those are kid classes, and they'll go all the way up, and then they'll do an open class kind of at the end. That's usually a lot of fun because God knows who's going to show up for that.
I know I could show up for that. And what would you do?
Well, Mark would probably let you pull.
Well,
as long as you had your own garden tractor or lawnmower, whatever. They make you take the blades off.
I could steal. I mean, I could get a lawnmower is what I could get. Hey, I also heard there's going to be an antique tractor pull this year. How did that come about? And tell us what we can expect with that.
Well, the antique tractor pull is one of our biggest draws at the summer show, but this summer it got rained out.
Okay.
So we just rescheduled it for the fall show and kept our fingers crossed that it wouldn't rain. And it looks like hopefully it's not going to. I'm gonna knock on wood there. So registration for that will start around 2:00, and the pull will probably start as soon as the garden tractors are done. Hopefully, we're saying 3 right now, but it'll be 3-ish. And we definitely want to encourage all the antique tractor pullers to come on out. It's a really good time.
Is that happening on Saturday?
That's happening on Saturday, yes.
Okay, cool. Well, you know what? We're going to be back to talk with you, I believe, but we're going to move over to Jolene. Emily's just there. She's the pretty thing that sits beside Jolene. All right, so here, Jolene is pretty too. She knows that already. I don't have to tell her. Here's Jolene. There's live music, which I love live music, and also you can't go wrong with a barn dance, especially on a Saturday night. So who's providing the music, and when does it start?
Okay, that would be Paul Root, and it starts at 7:30 and lasts till 10:30. And the price of getting in the gate covers you for the dance and for everything there.
So are you a dancer, Jolene?
No, not really. I was, back in the 70s when I was in high school, but that kind of has gone away.
Yeah. You just step back and enjoy the music, don't you?
Yes, but actually, since I'm with the kitchen, I don't actually get to go down there and enjoy it very well, because by the time I'm done in the kitchen, it's like, okay, I'm out of here.
Out of here. Emily's a dancing fool. I can just tell by looking at her.
Yeah.
True story.
Yep.
I see people. I know people. I know what. So speaking of Emily, is there a charge for admission?
$5.
$5. Okay. Is that all day or 2 days?
Per day.
Per day. Okay. So what is the cost each day for adults and children?
It's $5.
Just $5. I don't even know why they asked that question twice. They put it on there and I just asked it twice. This is great. Is it cash?
12 and under are free.
Oh, 12, because do you have to buy an admission ticket to get in and then?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So, and it's cash only, right? I want to make sure I get that out. Correct.
Yes.
All right. So Jolene, back to you.
Okay.
What can you tell me about the vendors who plan to be there this weekend?
We have right at 34 vendors coming. A lot of them are going to be swap. We've got Watkins Pampered Chef, Local Honey, Jewelry, Tools, Antiques, Crafts, Toy Tractors and Trucks. We've got a barbecue sauce and seasoning vendor, Local Made Iron Fire Pits. That's going to be a new one this year. So he's going to have some interesting product there. But a lot of local vendors as well as out-of-state vendors. We should have a huge variety. If you can't find what you're looking for, you're not looking hard enough.
How many vendors would you say you have, like numbers wise? Could you guess, or do you know?
We have 34 as of right now. That will fluctuate. That may grow at the gate because they don't always call us and let us know they're coming. But yeah, 34 right now.
That's pretty cool that if you're a vendor and you're like, hey, I heard about this, and you can show up the day of and you'll find a spot for them. That is
yeah.
What if somebody is like watching this right now and they're like, oh, I can't be a vendor this year, but that sounds interesting. I need more details about it. What if they were thinking about maybe next year or the next event being a vendor? How would they go about getting a hold of you?
They could get on our website, the MeridenThreshers.org, and there should be a phone number out there for vendors to call and schedule to get in. But yeah, they could get in still this year as well.
Nice. What if I was a vendor and I just showed up myself and just stood under a tent? Do you think people would stop by?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're such a nice person. I'm going to move on to Carol.
I have to keep changing my glasses because these are computer glasses. Otherwise I have bifocals. So
you're like, that's, yeah. I just like to change glasses just so to see if people recognize me. That's what I like to do, Jim. So, Carol, the event flyer says you have a church service on Sunday at 9 a.m. Yeah, tell me about the service in the church located on the grounds.
Well, the Bloomfield Church, like I said earlier, used to live 7 miles north of Meriden, up on Meriden Road at what we call the Bloomfield Corner, which is actually the intersection of 134th Road and Meriden Road. There's the cemetery is still up there. There's a little rock up there now. They got a monument where the church used to be. They packed it up and brought it down in 2003. We were on WIBW Channel 13 at the time. And they reset it down on our grounds, and they have refurbished it, built a handicap ramp, put the bell tower back on that had fallen off when it was out in the country, and just really like the wood floors have been restored and the wood windows and everything. It's just a beautiful, beautiful building. And we had both a piano and an organ donated, so we're able to have in pews. So we're able to have church services there at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. Susie rotates through local preachers, so you never know I haven't heard who the local preacher will be this time. It was the new preacher from JAG in the summer. I don't know who she got for the fall, but she gets a preacher and a pianist, and we have an old-fashioned church service that lasts about 30 to 40 minutes on Sunday morning.
Can anyone attend that comes to the fall festival?
Anyone can attend. We welcome everybody. It's non-denominational.
That is nice. All right, so we're going to move over to Carolyn. So, Carolyn, you get the last question. So this is a lot of pressure on you right now.
Okay.
Oh, I like how you just, okay, I can handle it. How can people find the threshing grounds, and when does the gate open each day?
Okay, we are located at 8275 K4 Highway. It's about a mile east of Meriden on K4, and we set just right on the north side. You'll see the Cottonwood station. You can't miss it. And the gates will open at 7.
Oh, 7 in the morning?
Uh-huh.
Wow. So make a day out of it both days. I love it. Where can people find the daily schedules and more information on the Meriden Antique Engine and Threshers Association, your 46th Fall Festival and Swap Meet?
You can go to Meriden Threshers or MeridenThreshers.org, and you'll find all the flyer information and all the activities that are going on.
Can I throw it? You can also go to 94country.com on our local event page.
Yes, perfect.
They pay me to talk about the station, so I just wanted to throw that in there. But so you got a bunch of places. Yeah, you got a bunch of places to go and check out the event. So I want to bring everybody back on, and I'll start with you, Carolyn. Is there anything that you want to add, like on a personal note about this event that you want people to know about?
No, if you haven't been there, please come and see us. You will not regret what hard work that the members put into this to have this show. It's just a great outing for even those people that have been there before. People love to come back and see us.
That's what makes an event to me, is when you have repeat people that come back, because there's something about the show that they love and they come back every year. So Carol, is there anything that you want to say about the event?
I just I wanted to add to what Carolyn said. People do come back every year, and every year they go buy a gallon of cider. They make sure they stop and restock up on sorghum, and then they come by and they get apple butter. So those are the big things. And the great thing is, you know, every year, like I said before, we get people who say, "Oh, I drive by here all the time and I've never stopped." Stop. Like Carolyn said, you're not going to regret it. It's very cool. People just don't realize what we do.
All right, Emily, what's your personal takeaway from the event, and what do you like most about it, and what do you want to tell people that maybe you can add to it that they don't know about?
It's fun for everybody. The entire family, bring them out. It's my favorite show personally, but it's a good time for everybody. And you know, we're trying to preserve the history of where we came from, how this all started.
That is awesome, and I love history. All right, Jolene, I saved the best for last. You got a personal take on the fall festival, the event that's going on this weekend?
Just like Emily said, it is a lot of fun. It's a lot of work for everybody that's involved in putting it on. So come out and appreciate what we've done and enjoy your stay there.
That's what.
Not to mention the awesome weather we're gonna have.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And also, the weather, and also Emily dancing at the barn dance.
Yeah.
Everybody, you don't want to miss this. I know it's going to be fantastic. So I just want everybody to come out and watch Emily dance. So here,
we need to throw one correction in there. Kerril just mentioned a little while ago that during our July show, we had the preacher from the JAG. It wasn't from JAG. He was actually from the Methodist Church in Meriden.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
That's okay.
This is why we have Jolene wrap up the show. She's our fact checker. She keeps us in line. She keeps things going on the straight line. That's why we love Jolene.
Well, we've had the preacher from JAG before.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
All right. Well, Jolene, I want to give you can come on my show anytime to keep me in my line because my mom said I need you. So you
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, you feel free to come to Topeka, be on the show, keep me in line. It'll make my mom happy. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
To another great weekend at the Meriden Threshers show, so the fall festival. So thanks again, and we'll talk soon because I know you guys are planning for next year already.
Yep.
We are.
All right, talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bet.